Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Today's Monday, February 21st. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we will get started shortly. I think we have news coming up over here at 6:45. So we'll probably have to sit tight for a bit until that news passes, but no rush, the riskiest days for trading are Monday and Friday. So definitely need to really take the market as it presents itself. So a couple more things here to update, and I think we should be good to go. All right, solid. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we can get started with our analysis for today. Got the link, the Zoom link sent out right there. Set down the other groups as well. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. Get this link posted up as well here. All right, a few more places here to post up the link. And we should be good to go. Social media. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Looks like about half of you guys are here so far. So good morning, guys. Happy Monday. Today's Monday, February 21st. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It is 6:24 right now. Market set to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm just posting up the link to the remaining places, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. We have news coming up right here at 6:45, guys. So you probably want to sit tight for a bit until we get a confirmation of, direction and movement. Yeah, guys, let me see who's here so far. Let me scroll up on this list. Morning, Karen. Morning, Christian. Morning, Ben Hartwig. Morning, Martha. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Peter. Morning, Shaka. Morning, Stern. Morning, everybody. So yeah, hopefully everyone had a great weekend, long rested, long holiday weekend. Markets are finally back open. So I took a couple market trades here pre-market. I'll probably go over that a little later. I want to give a few more moments for people to, obviously make their way in. 6:24 right now. Market is to open in 6 minutes here. Morning, Rashida. Oh, sorry. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, sorry, guys. I totally forgot. It was a holiday. So today's Tuesday, February 21st, not Monday. Thanks, guys, for the heads up. I always forget what day it is during coming back from a long holiday week like that. So let's see, we got market opening up over here shortly. We got missing here. All right, guys, looks like most of you guys are here so far. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 5 minutes. Let me just get this link posted in one more place, the Instagram. Man, this week got me all screwed up now. It's Tuesday. This year's flying by, guys. I don't know if you guys starting to feel it, but I feel like this year just started already almost into March. It's crazy. This link posted up right here real quick. All right, looks like we're good. So I don't know if Maddie is here. Let's see. Oh, he is. All right, cool. So Maddie's here for right now. Maddie got into a little injury, so if you don't see Maddie here, he's probably going to be out. But Maddie is here right now, so he'll be here for a little bit. If you guys are wondering, send us some of you guys ask about Maddie if he's not, putting in his input in the chat. But yeah, he's going to be here for a while, but he might be not here for this week. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 4 minutes. So morning, Maria. Morning, Vince. Morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 21st. We got news coming up right here at 6:45, I believe. You have flash services, PMI, some inflation news, existing home sales at 7. That's about it. So 6:45 and 7. Let me mark that news up over here real quick. So probably gonna chill out for a bit in the market. I took another pre-market trade right here, guys. I had to close out early because I didn't realize I got in so late. So I got in for this momentum scalp right here, but I actually got in late. And then it's getting close to a market open. So I kind of just pulled out. So right here, I was in this trade. I'll post up my profits for that too. I was in this trade right here. This candle just dropped down right now. When it dropped down right here and hit TP right away, it didn't get me because it spread. So I closed out like right here for a partial profit, but I did take this specific trade here. I've been taking a lot of pre-market trades lately, guys. Just whenever I see entries here, I just take them. So like, for example, here I saw the momentum scalp. I was like, okay, I'm going to take, or not momentum scalp. Actually, no, yeah, that was a momentum scalp right here. So that's the entry that I took there, another momentum scalp entry. And then it just went, obviously it went past TP, but I got out early because market is opening in about a minute or two. So I'll just post this up real quick, post up my profits, and then we'll move forward with this session today. All right. So just one last prop right there. And we are good to go, guys. Market is going to open up shortly. So we got news right there at 6:45, and then we have news at 7. We'll see if there's any other news here on my FX book. Looks like Nick caught it as well. Oh no, Zach, sorry, Zach. Yeah, Zach said he caught it, but only for a partial profit. You had to pull out early. Market is going to open shortly, so there's no point in me risking it. We also have news at 7:10. Okay, so that's it for today. We had news coming up right here at 6:45, then we have news coming up over here at 7. I took this momentum scalp. I had to pull out early because of the movement getting close to open. Market is now opening in 30 seconds, guys. So here are my profits right here for that specific trade. I don't even know what I locked in on my other accounts. Let me just take screenshots real quick before the market opens. Market is opening in about 10 seconds. So as you guys can see, a lot of crazy volatility back and forth right now. That's normal. It's Monday. As you guys know, Monday is one of the riskier days to trade. Monday and Friday. Monday because people are re-entering the market from the weekend, and then Friday because people are exiting the market for the weekend. There goes the opening candle. Big spike to the upside. I think the bias for today is going to be a sell. We'll analyze that shortly. But, just a little heads up. Yeah, and that's why I had to pull out, because something like that would happen. Got some slippage over here on my MFFs. But still profit. All right, guys, so market is now open. Let's wait for this to stabilize a bit. Obviously, no direction set right now. And what a huge spike. So I'll go to the clean chart as well, mark that up so that you guys can see the movement. But yeah, this big spike right here, I'm expecting price to come back down. So I don't think this will necessarily hold up. Just for the moment, because everything is still very bearish. I'll show you the higher time frame shortly. So if you guys look over here on the higher time frames, it's still pretty bearish, right? So price might push up and then bounce off the pivots here, but I think at the moment right now, it's not really doing that. The 1 hour has a long way to go until it comes back up and retests the pivot. So I think eventually it'll come back down. We just got to give it some time for it to breathe a little bit. Anyways, let me post my profits real quick in the group for that pre-market move. Show you guys my profits across all my accounts so far. All right, so these are just a couple pre-market trades I took, guys. You can see prices coming back down, but I'm not going to chase it. It's going to let it come back down eventually. So here are my profits so far. My main account locked in 2,820. These are all like a few minutes ago, right? These hit full TP. This one I had to pull out early because the market was opening soon. This one over here, this is my MFF number 1, 2,270. My MFF number 2 account, 2,360. And then my MFF number 3, 2,340. So different profits across all the accounts. Some slippage more on one account, less slippage on the other. Zach over here too. So Zach over here took a couple trades pre-market as well. He's currently up 2,700 for the day. Nice work, Zach. Yeah, he said, I'm glad you got out. Yeah, no, definitely. You too, Zach. We were in the same trade. So if you guys have the indicators, you guys can take these same trades, right? You can take the trades on your own. A lot of you guys here do have the indicators, so you guys are able to identify these same entries that I'm taking, even though I'm not live. So if you guys want to learn how to apply these strategies yourself, it's, you guys have the opportunity to get access to the indicators. Zach over here actually killed it yesterday. He traded yesterday. He locked in 23,000, which is crazy because this guy doesn't typically lock in this kind of profit. But great profit right there, Zach. It's probably your lucky day yesterday to bring your account back to life. So, all right, guys. Other than that, see if there's anything else that we've got over here. Morning, Gactive. Morning, Slava. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody. So there's no official trades yet so far because the market just opened. We have news coming up over here at 6:45. So I probably would hold off a little bit until we have something to to take here. Morning, AR. Morning, Gary. Morning, Frederick. Morning, nice. Morning, guys. Yeah, Frederick just posted live. Dow falls more than 300 points as higher rates pressure stocks. Home Depot falls after earnings. Live updates. Yeah. So CNBC just released this news over here that was saying that the market was negative. This is like one of your main indicators of manipulation, right? Whenever CNBC reports something like this, what do you think happens? The opposite, right? So this is what Frederick just posted. Dow falls more than 300 points. What happens as soon as they post that, right? Whenever they post something like this, a lot of people chase the news because you're like, oh, if CNBC is reporting a loss, market has to come down, right? They posted this at 6:32. Look what happened at 6:32. Price did the complete opposite and went straight up. So whenever you see CNBC release news like this, you want to be very careful about taking any entries because this is all based off manipulation, right? They report something and then the market does the opposite because typically that's what happens. Retail traders will follow news because they're just blindly following it. And then the market makers and institutions actually do the opposite because this is how they make money. They stop everybody out, right? So just be patient with your entries, guys. I mentioned that from the very beginning. You should be very careful about Mondays and Fridays, or today's considered the Monday because there was no market open yesterday, right? So this is technically Monday for the week. Whenever it's a long weekend, guys, Tuesday is considered Monday because the markets weren't fully open yesterday. So even though today's Tuesday, it's also considered Trap Tuesday if it was a regular week. But today's considered Monday for us because we didn't trade yesterday live. The market was technically closed for New York. So, all right, guys, just be patient with your entries. Actually wait for everything to line up and then look for as many confluences as possible. So if you have an entry there, you want to check on the other time frames. Like make sure it's bearish here on the 5 or the high time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour. As you guys can see, price came up, rejected off the pivot right here on the 1 hour. I already marked that up. I mentioned that was a target where price is going to push up and possibly bounce back down. We have the rejection right here on the 30 minute as well. So, price very may well come right back down. You just got to be patient and wait for this to confirm. But my guess is that price is likely to come back down. You guys can see over here, the 10 is starting. So this is the domino effect here. You guys can see the higher time frames, the 1 hour rejected, 30 minute rejected. If this 10 minute here rejects, it's a domino effect. The 5 minute and 1 minute are likely to follow, right? There's no official entries right now because there's no overall trend. In order for there to be an overall trend, everything has to be pointing in one direction, right? So let me go over here and mark up opening price real quick. This is going to be the target price point for price to come back down. I don't recommend chasing it down like that because obviously you don't know when price is going to actually come down or if it's just going to be bouncing around until it makes it that way. I think eventually price will make its way down. So target price point for me is going to be opening price right here. However, we do have news coming up shortly. So I don't necessarily recommend just chasing a sell and then praying that it'll come back down, right? You have to actually have some sort of analysis. If your analysis points towards a sell where you can make an actual entry, then, go ahead and do what you need to do. For example, right here, there's a V1 variation. If you guys know my strategy, the V1 variation, there's a double body and a double wick right there. This already went straight to TP. So if you guys took this entry here, straight to TP, I don't put all the strategies on here. The main ones we're following again, guys, are the three main ones: the momentum scalp failure, momentum scalp variation, and momentum scalp. So even though there's a V1 variation right there, I did not take that trade. For you who are taking it, looks like they've already hit your TP. So we're still looking for entries here. But in order for us to have an entry, we need the first requirement. First requirement is to confirm the overall trend, right? The overall trend over here is not bearish yet because the 1 minute is still bullish. Price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, and the pivots are angling up. Same with the 5 minute over here. Price is in between the pivots. So in order for us to have an entry here, we need to confirm overall trend, right? First requirement, confirm overall trend on all three strategies. However, right here, this was a momentum, this was a variation V1. If you guys know all my strategies here, I have a list of strategies that you guys can apply. If you guys are older members and you guys have my strategies, this is the entry that came up right here. You could have taken this for a sell and that would have went straight to your profit target. But we're not following this. So if you guys took that trade, great. If you guys didn't, there's no official trades yet. We're looking for these here. In order for us to take these, we need to confirm the overall trend. Target price point is going to be this opening price right here, but we'll see where it goes. Nice. So looks like Nick took the V1. He saw it on the 5 minute as well. C-Suit caught it. Alan mentioned retail sentiment. Yeah, there's no clear direction right now, Alan. Just like Alan mentioned as well, retail sentiment is right down the middle. So although this isn't like the end all be all for analysis, this would be a nice confirmation, right? If there was more traders on the long side, this would be great because we could look for the sells. Even though we are looking for the sells, it's just not really, it's not clear just yet. However, looking over here at the indices are currently all red right now. The Dow is currently down 315 points. S&P is down 38 points. NASDAQ's down 131 points. Russell 2K is up 4 points, barely anything. And the VIX is up 5%. So looking at this here, it's coming down to my target. As I mentioned, guys, price is coming straight back down. Although I don't necessarily recommend anyone chase it unless, again, you have some sort of strategy that you're following that's pointing towards the sell here, because price is coming down here. I do and expect price to reach this point, but you need to have some sort of confirmation of entry. You can't just enter a trade and then hope that it's going to come down. It's not the way to trade. You guys have to trade with some sort of strategy at least. Like I would never recommend you guys just enter a sell just because. You have to have some sort of analysis pointing towards entry. Because if you guys look right here, if price retraces all the way back up, that's almost 1,000 pip drawdown. So don't just enter a trade for whatever reason. You have to have some sort of reason for entering a trade. It doesn't have to be my strategies, but at least have something to base your trade off. Because this isn't a game of luck. I mean, there's some luck involved, but it's mostly a game of probabilities. Right now, I have no probabilities telling me to take this trade here just yet, even though I do expect price to come down. Target price point is always going to be opening price right here because we have a sell bias. So we have an overall direction. Obviously right here, here's the confluence, sell, sell, sell. But on the shorter time frames over here, it's not necessarily the time to just hop into a sell for no reason, right? If I get a wick rejection here on the 5, then maybe that's going to be, maybe a heads up. Okay, maybe I could take the sell. Or if I get a wick rejection here on the 5 and 1, just like we did over here, then this could give me an idea that, okay, price will probably keep coming down lower. So I do think price will eventually come down, but right now specifically, I can't say for sure if that is, the case. Let's see, question from David. David's asking, do you think news will be a buy? I don't think so, because the news is, I wouldn't really base anything on news to begin with, but looking at the news for 6:45, it's going to be flash services PMI. So I'm not expecting this to be, so here, this is what I'm thinking. So let's see, last month it was 68.8. I don't think it's necessarily going to be strong. It might be a little stronger, like how it's pointed right here, forecasted at like 1%. So maybe it'll be around that point, but I don't think it's strong enough to really consider it a buy, David.
So I think that's where the misconception kind of happens. Just because it's green doesn't mean it's a buy. That just means that it's better than expected. So I wouldn't, just because it's green here, David, don't think of this as a buy, because the way that you worded it, you're kind of saying like, okay, if this, do I think price is going to go up? I think price is going to come down because inflation news is going to be negative regardless. We're going through a recession, so none of the news that comes out is going to be positive. It might be a little positive initially, but I think eventually it's, at the end of the day, it's going to be negative for us. So we'll see where this ends up pushing around. But we do have news coming up here shortly. Another reason why not to take any trades right now, because we have news coming up right here at 6:45. So what I could see happening right here, guys, is we can probably see price push up a little bit, and then once news happens here at 6:45, it'll come down even further. Well, it'll just come back down to where it's supposed to go, right? So that is what to look out for here. There's no pre-market news, so I think we're good on that. But let me go over here to the clean chart. So here's the clean chart with no markups. Market opened over here at 6:30. So we got market open right there till 8. We have the opening price right here. So my target price point is going to be down here, guys. You see how price is kind of bouncing around this area. Target price point is going to be from here to down here eventually, because I do have a sell bias. We have news coming up right here in about 2 minutes, guys. So I just got to wait for it. But my target price point is always going to be opening price. That's going to be the main area for me to look out for. Let me turn on my sessions. I forgot to turn them on. There's no sessions around here anyway, so that's not a big deal. But yes, I do expect price to make its way down further. So until we have a direction of overall trend, guys, there's not going to be any entries for us. All right, so we got the wick rejection over here on the 10. We got the wick rejection over here setting up on the 5. The thing with this right here is we need price to actually come below, right? So we can't have a wick rejection on top and a wick rejection on bottom. We need this candle to be down here. This candle has about 1:16 left on it. If there's a wick rejection on the bottom, there's no direction. There's going to be uncertainty, right? It's just going to be an uncertain setup because there's wick rejections on both sides. This one has about a minute left on it. Let's see if this drops lower. If it doesn't, then it's not going to be a good setup for us to really follow just yet. But it's following through. So this might not be the candle, but I think eventually, yeah, it'll follow through. We also have news over here coming up in about a minute. So 50 seconds till news. Price is dropping a little bit. After this candle right here, we'll see how news reacts to, or price reacts to the news that's coming up shortly. I'll clean this up a little bit so we can see where price is actually going. Clean this up as well. I think price is going to come down though. That's my guess. So let's see what happens on this next candle. Or price might fake out. So it might fake out up and then come back down eventually. We have news again at 7. So, I mean, this doesn't have to be the actual drop. The drop can happen later on at 7 o'clock. Yeah, we have existing home sales at 7 o'clock as well. All right, news candle is coming in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is the news candle right here. Huge spike to the downside. I did exactly what I mentioned, right? Where is it going to? Opening price. Look at my target right there. It's about to get hit. This is a gamble right here. I already knew price was going to come down. Like I already predicted this was going to happen, right? I told you guys like minutes ahead. But it's not something that I want to chase because obviously this can spike right back up. So don't chase it too late, guys. Like I don't even recommend chasing this right here. But it did exactly what we were anticipating. If you guys can anticipate where the move's going to be or like where price is supposed to be, it gives you a huge upper hand. Like I already knew price was coming down because obviously everything here is bearish. We had that rejection off all these points. The 5-minute over here as well. But you guys can see how there's no clear direction, right? Price is kind of just going back and forth. But, as I mentioned earlier with your question, David, all the news that comes out, I'm expecting it to be negative. It doesn't matter if it's green here or not. But overall, I'm expecting it to be negative. Right here, you can see it was green. The price did the opposite. So while the specific news event was somewhat positive, price did spike down super heavy, and then it spiked right back up. So just be careful with taking the entries here, guys. We have news price now right here. Just got to wait. Not really too much for us to I mean, there's nothing for us to take right now, honestly. So just gotta wait for it here. Yeah, David said, thanks for your advice. Avoid burning my account, no FOMO. Yeah, just be patient, guys. I know a lot of you guys are itching to get your first trade in, but there just isn't any setup for us to take right now specifically. This 5-minute candle here has about 3 minutes left on it. If we have this close below the pivots here, I'm expecting the drop to continue. Drop to at least the opening price right here. And there we go, as price comes down. Where's my target at? Right here, it's almost there. I'm not chasing it, but I'm just mentioning that. And there we go, straight to my target. Boom, blasted right through it. So guys, this is why it's important to take a view of the entire asset. Don't just look on one time frame. I already identified it here. I knew this was going to come down. It was just a matter of time. So I marked this up like when price was way up here. We had the reversal pattern right here for the V1 entry. So this already told me price was going to come down. Now it's just a matter of time until price came down and tested the opening price here. So now it's just played out perfect. Hopefully, if you guys did take trades off that, you guys locked in profit already. At the moment, I'd probably just sit tight and be careful if you guys are looking. If you guys are already out in profit, I would just wait because it's going to retrace probably. But there just isn't any entries for us to take at the moment. If price stays below here, then we're going to have an overall trend for a sell. And then we can start looking for sells with our official strategies right here. So yeah, played out nice. A couple profits over here. So Deswell, he said, took Sean's analysis, took the trade right there. Total profit of 3,850 for the day. Nice work, Deswell. So solid profit right there. Let me just copy over my profits too. I'll do it later. I don't need to do it right now. Yeah, Deswell took some pretty good profits right there. Total profit of 3,850, all wins. We have Dejan over here. He took the high low before market and the V1 when market open. So Dejan over here is currently up 380 for the day as well. Nice work, Dejan. He took that V1 up top. Yeah, Dejan, he's like one of the guys that likes the V1 there. A lot of you guys here have been around when I used to apply the V1 a lot. Ensong as well. He took the V1 earlier, total profit of 121. Nice work, Ensong. Full TP2 with that green strip. Some birthday profits right there, huh? We got Barack over here, total profit of 1,610. Nice work, Barack. Solid recovery. Looks like you had a loss right there earlier, and then you made it right back on these next trades. So great work right there. Here we go, as price starts to drop super heavy. I mean, price is doing exactly what we anticipated, right? I already anticipated price to drop like this. No matter how much like you guys want to, or not just you guys in general, but in general, how people want to just ignore the recession, the recession's coming regardless. So like my analysis is always going to point towards a sell until we have like some sort of real swing to the upside, right? The higher time frames over here are the indicators telling you that, okay, price has to keep dropping because there's no reason for it to go up. I mean, price might go up temporarily, but I'm always going to be pointed towards a sell. So we have the wick rejections right here on pretty much every single time frame. And it's still dropping, but I wouldn't recommend chasing it. So right now that price is down here, I'd look for the retracement back to the upside. Let's look over here on all the time frames. So everything here is pointing towards a sell now, right? With regard to trend. So the 1 hour here, 30-minute and 10-minute, you can see prices below the pivots on all three time frames. The trend meter down below is red. Pivots are angling down. This is going to indicate that we are in a sell downtrend on the higher time frames. Looking over here on the lower time frames, we have the same thing, right? Prices down below the pivots, trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down across the 10-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute time frame. However, you guys want to be very careful about taking entries. Like, for example, this sell signal right here is a momentum scalp entry, but it's not one that I personally would want to take because price is overextended. If you go over here and maximize the 1-minute time frame, you guys can see that price dumped pretty much from this high. We already were watching this because we were anticipating price to come down. So we pretty much watched this drop here happen. It's been about 1,600 pips. That's a big drop, right? So what do you think happens after a big drop like this? Retracement. So I wouldn't enter any trades here just yet. I know there's a momentum scalp right there, but it's not one I personally would take because typically when I look for entries here, I'm looking for these to continue after each other. So we didn't have any entries up here because, the obvious reasons with price kind of going back and forth. But later on, we're going to have another setup down here. So I wouldn't necessarily chase this one here yet. I'm going to wait for momentum scalp failure to come up. And then once I have that, I'm going to see if there's a variation that comes up after it, and I'll take that trade there. So there's a momentum scalp entry that came up here, not one that I'd recommend taking because price was overextended. But if you guys did take the trade there, I mean, obviously, look, it's right past and straight to profit target there. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's fine. I'm not going to count as an official trade because not one that I personally take because price is obviously way overextended right here. I'm looking for price to come back up. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. Price dropped down a little heavy from that top point that we identified, looking for that price to retrace up and then continue back down further. Once we get this right here, that's where I'm looking for that entry for a sell. But right now, I'm not looking to take it just yet because price is due for retracement. So if you guys caught that there, great. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. Me personally, I'll probably wait for the next entry to come back up. I'm being as careful as possible today on a Tuesday, but technically Monday. I know today by date it's Tuesday, but realistically it's really Monday because there was no trading yesterday. Let's see if there's anything else over here. So let's see, question from, yeah, Dejan said he's going to wait until after 7 for another trade. Yeah, because we have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, guys. That's why I'd be careful with any entries right now specifically. Christian's asking, that's a high-low scalp, right? So, yeah, no, not this one right here. It's not a high-low scalp because it can be tested, Christian. So there was a low right here, but it already got tested by this previous candle right here. It was a retest. So it retested it a second time. It becomes risky because if it retested a second time, this could be established as a support. So that's why we typically don't want to enter it the second time. It's usually the first time, like all or nothing. All right, so we have a sell bias right here. Obviously, you guys can see we have a sell bias, but price is retracing up now. So we have a possible momentum scalp failure that's coming up right here on this candle. If that buy signal does close up and the volume is below average, it's technically going to be a momentum scalp failure. However, we're going to be holding off a little bit because I don't typically take the first entry here. So if it closes, I'll mark it up for you guys. Thing you want to look out for is the volume down below. It looks like it's above average already. So no momentum scalp failure right there. All right, so this volume bar was above the blue line. So looking at the requirements over here for the momentum scalp failure, first you want to confirm the overall trend. Obviously, overall trend here is bearish. Confirm retracement momentum signal right here on the 1 minute. There's a buy signal here against the trend. That's going to be step 2. For step 3 right here, you want to confirm volume is below average. Volume here was above average. So due to the third requirement not being met, there's no entry here for a momentum scalp failure. Right there. I mean, if you guys took it, it looks like it probably would have hit your TP if you're going for 100 pips. But if not, it looks like it's still technically running right now. Not one that I'm looking to take just yet because, you know, I'm looking for these to align. So again, guys, unfortunately, there's not going to be a momentum scalp variation. Well, technically, this could be a momentum scalp variation, but not one that I personally will be taking because I'm looking for these to line up. So I want this one to come up first. And then when this one comes up first and it's valid, then I would take the momentum scalp variation that came up after. So there was a momentum scalp variation right here, but not one that meets my criteria personally, because I want these trades to come in order. So this right here would technically be a momentum scalp variation. You can see price pushed up, closed above the pivots, then it closed back below. Let me check on the other timeframes to make sure there's a sell signal. Yeah, there is. So this right here is technically a momentum scalp variation. I'm not in this position though, because I want these to line up. So if you guys took it, full TP, but if not, then it's perfectly fine. You know, I'm being as careful and as conservative as possible with it being the first trading day this week. We're coming back from a long holiday weekend, so this market is very unpredictable. But there we go. So this is the first setup right here. Looks like everything kind of lined up. The only problem here was the momentum scalp failure. If this here closed on this green candle, this would have been great. But looking over here on the volume bar, volume was above average. So I'd rather be safe than sorry today, especially on this day specifically. We also have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, so you just want to be careful. Nice. Sisu caught it. Will caught it as well. Yeah, they saw a confluence there. Yeah, no, it's fine. If you guys are comfortable with the position, you guys can take it. There's another momentum scalp coming up right here. But again, it's not one that I would personally take. So, I'm showing you guys and explaining the difference between trades I would take and trades that I wouldn't take because I'm a very conservative trader. I'm looking for wins. I'm not looking for anything less. So if there's any uncertainty on my part with my analysis, I'm not going to take the trade. So right here, there's a momentum scalp that's coming up, guys. If you guys want to take it, feel free. But as I mentioned, for me personally, I'm not taking it because I want these to line up together. Still hasn't closed, so no entry there. Some profits over here from you guys. So Kenny over here took that last sell. Total profit of 690 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So it looks like a lot of you guys here are still taking trades off the analysis, which is perfectly fine if you guys know what you're doing. David over here as well. He's currently at 24.04 for the day. All wins. Nice work, David. Yeah, definitely. Solid consistency right there. We have Zach over here as well. Zach said, played off your analysis and mine there. Big profit, all wins for the day. So Zach over here is currently up. You're doing pretty good today, Zach. Yesterday you were up like 20K. And then today you're up about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's up about like 8K for the day. So that's a pretty big push to the upside. And you're using like pretty decent lot sizes too. So solid work right here, Zach. Is this all from the same day? Yeah, these are all from the same day. So nice work right there, Zach. All right, so we're still looking for entries here, guys. I'm looking for a momentum scalp failure to come up. So right now there's still technically a momentum scalp that hasn't played out yet. Like the sell signal here has to close. Not one that I would specifically take because, again, as I mentioned before, guys, I'm looking for this here to line up. So technically there could be a possible momentum scalp here, but not one that I would personally take. We'll keep following here and see if anything comes up. I'm just waiting for that retracement. We also have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. So I'm not taking this trade here specifically. If you guys want to take it, feel free. If not, just sit tight. No, I would just sit tight. But I know some of you guys here are getting impatient. If you guys start to feel impatient, then it might be time to step away for a little bit. If you guys are getting FOMO and you guys are starting to feel impatient, just step away from your computer because news is coming up right here at 7 o'clock. You don't want to be trading at 7 o'clock. So I'll probably sit tight for a second here. Just got to wait for setups to play out. This candle right here is too big too anyways. So, all right, guys, we're waiting for another setup here to play out. So now that we have pretty much all three lined up, it's going to reset. We're looking for another momentum scalp failure. So, and then we got news coming up right here as well. Let me see if there's any sessions down here. There's actually no structure down below. So this is kind of difficult to identify where the next target price point will be because there's no structure below to follow. Nice. Yeah, so Christian actually took the variation earlier. So solid work, guys. Here's Sisuk. Sisuk just came back from his loss earlier this morning. He took a sell on open, kind of got faked out right there because price spiked all the way up, but then he made it right back right here with these full TPs. Nice work, Sisuk. Back to baseline for you. All right, so here's a news candle right here, guys. News is coming out. Price is dropping down further. Let's check out news. Pretty sure it's negative, or it might be positive. Nope, it's negative. So right here, existing home sales. I already know, like whenever I see existing home sales, I'm expecting this to be negative because people just aren't buying houses right now. And I just know that from personal experience because I've been following the market. I've been trying to buy a house myself, but it's just not a good time to buy. Interest rates are too high, especially if you're going for like an over $1 million house. Here in my area, there's no houses here that are under $1 million. So it just doesn't make sense. If you're paying like a 6% interest rate, there's no way you could pay, like you're going to pay like an extra $1 million in interest. So there's no point in getting it. So yeah, I'm familiar with the housing market right now. So this is why every time we see any housing news here, there's not going to be, it's always going to be negative for the most part until they lower interest rates. But yeah, rates are still very high. So I'm expecting a lot of these things, like with regard to, well, basically all the inflation news, I expect it to be negative. All right, guys, so price is pushing up right here. We'll see where this ends up going. Let's see. Martha sent in her profits. See where you're at, Martha. Martha locked in 870 for the day. Great work, Martha. So solid work right there. I'll go and just put that in our saved archive over here. I'll get it later. All right, so we still have a bearish bias here. Basically looking for a buy signal to come up over here. A buy signal comes up, then possible swing to the upside. Let me turn on my alerts here so I know when these and I got all these old alerts I had to delete. Way too many. All right, so I got this alert right here, this alert right here. All right, we have all these alerts over here set up. Let's see if price ends up. I mean, I don't expect much to happen right here. It's right at news price, so it's not exactly an area that you want to trade in anyways. Clean that up right there. Scroll up real quick. Cameron said, if you ever get FOMO, just get up and do some push-ups. Yeah, no, that's also another thing. That's one thing I see before too, Cameron. Whenever I lost a trade or made a bad mistake, I was like, man, it's the only way to get your head off it. Yeah, guys, like with what Cameron said, if you guys ever feel FOMO or you guys feel like your head's not in the game, do something to just like get your mind off trading for a little bit and then come back. Because you need your emotions to be on point when you guys are trading. If you're starting to feel FOMO or you're feeling like you need to force a trade, then just step away from the charts. Because it's better to miss a trade rather than eat a loss. Because if you eat a loss, that you have to claw your way back up. Looking at price right now in the 1 minute, there's no direction. Price is just going back and forth. As you guys can see, price is kind of just stuck near the news price right here. So with price starting to squeeze like this is preparing for a breakout. Price is going to break out to the upside or it's going to break out to the downside. Whenever we see price start to squeeze, that's what it's setting up for. So it's going to go sideways, but eventually it's going to break out to the upside or the downside. You don't want to get caught in this manipulation here. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. I know, right? Christian. Let's see, Maddie mentioned CNBC reported Dow dropped 400 points at 7 a.m. Might retrace up a bit. Yeah. So let's go back to CNBC real quick, guys. Brushing this over here. New update from CNBC. They just mentioned Dow falls more than 400 points as higher rates pressure stocks. So as I mentioned here again, this is exactly what I said earlier, right? Higher rates. The rates just keep going up. So I'm not really expecting the market to do well specifically. Price obviously going to bounce back and forth, but we'll see. Anyways, there's not really much for us to look at right now because price isn't doing anything. It's just going sideways down. The news price right there. Here's the clean chart. As you guys can see on the clean chart, it looks nice because price is actually down below. Let's see if this ends up staying below here. So key thing is for us to see if price stays below down here. If it doesn't stay below here, target price for price to retrace up is going to be opening price, right? That's going to be target price point. However, if price continues dropping, then, even better because we'll have some sort of direction here. Our direction's still for a sell, but everything here just isn't really pointing anywhere right now. The 10 minutes pretty flat, as you guys can see from this specific candle right here. It's a doji candle. So if you guys are familiar with these candlestick patterns, when you see a candle like this means price can go either way. This is a reversal candle right here. Has about 4 minutes left on it, so it hasn't necessarily closed yet, but we'll see where it ends up. As we get closer to this candle close here, this candle has 4 minutes left on it, so it has a lot of life in it until it actually starts to be of use to us. But looking over here on the 1 minute, no direction. So if there's no direction right here, I'm expecting this to close as a doji. And then if this closes as a doji, this can really go either way. It's just another confirmation that price is going to break out one direction or the other. So this is what I mean about having multiple confluences. That's why I like having multiple timeframes on my chart. Looking over here on the higher timeframes, it looks like there's a doji on pretty much all the higher timeframes. The 1 hour over here, No direction, has 50 minutes left on it though, so it's got a lot of time. 30-minute also a doji, 10-minute, the doji's starting to spread out a little bit. So there's really no direction here at all, guys. So I don't recommend taking any trades right now until you have some sort of direction. But at the moment, this can easily swing right back up and retest the opening price up here. It's not that far either. So opening price is blue line right here, guys. If price ends up retracing up to that point, it's not a far push. It's about 500 pips. So it's not like it's impossible for it to happen. It's very possible for it to happen. All right, we do have the buy signal coming up right here, guys. This would technically be a momentum scalp failure entry if it does close. But as I mentioned, guys, I'm not really, well, obviously I wouldn't take the trade here myself because I don't even take that entry, but price may be retracing up to the opening price right there. So this is one that I probably wouldn't recommend taking if you guys do plan on taking it. But it's really up to you guys. I'll give you guys my analysis. I'll show you guys the entry here. But if I think it's risky, odds of it being risky are very likely. So main thing to look out for here is going to be the volume down below. All right, if the sell signal here closed, this is technically a momentum scalp failure entry. We have an overall trend for a sell, retracement momentum signal here that's currently pending, volume here that may be below average. So we'll see. All right, so no sell, no buy signal there. We have another pending buy signal right here, but it has not closed yet. Price is coming right back down in news price. So it looks like price faked out right here a bit, pushed up a little bit, faked out, came right back down to news price. So nothing too crazy here. It's just coming back into this range. So it's got to sit tight. Glenn's asking, have you discussed the principle behind the buy and sell signals in one of your mentoring sessions? I mean, it's explained in the indicator. There's no principle behind it though, Glenn, because it's not to give you the secret, right? The whole point of the indicator is for it to be proprietary. So yeah, I'm not giving you the code behind the indicator, but it just indicates momentum. So yeah, there's no other indicator like it. Like this is the whole reason I created this indicator. This is the first indicator I created, and I created it because I needed to identify momentum. Momentum uses a lot of different data points. It's not just one or two, it's like 5 or 6. So I basically put like 5 or 6 indicators into one, and that's how I created my momentum indicator. So there's not just one there, there's like a lot of different things that come into play. And that's the first thing that I created. Then I started to create these other indicators to complement it, but everything is based off momentum here. So if you guys have been following me for however long, you guys are familiar that all my strategies are based off momentum, because the catalyst for all of our entries is going to be the momentum here. So all right, there's no other entries here yet, guys. Buy signal never came up, so there's nothing for us to necessarily take at the moment. There's not even any speculative moves here that I would take because price is kind of below. So there's not really much going on here. As you guys can see, price is just ranging. So if I take everything off the chart, so here's a clean chart right here. Price is really just ranging right here. It's starting to break below the range, but this is a range that I drew up earlier. So I wouldn't necessarily chase this because this could be a fake out. Price might just fake out below here and then pull right back up into the zone. Nice. Brock said he took a high-low scalp right here. Was your high-low scalp off that low right there? Pretty sure there was, right? Yeah. Well, it didn't actually close yet, Brock. So there wasn't actually an entry there yet. I mean, it's technically going to close. So yeah, there's a high-low scalp right there. Sisu caught it. So it looks like a couple of you guys here caught the high-low scalp. This is not one of the official strategies that we're applying. So I'm not taking it. and I'm not counting it. But again, if you guys have my indicators, you guys can apply these strategies. So I have a list of strategies here that you guys can apply. If you guys are older members, you guys will know that we've been applying different strategies throughout the years. The strategy that Barack and Sisuk are mentioning is the high-low scalp right here. So overall bias, we already knew it was sell, confirm the previous high-low. There was a low right here. Price broke and closed below it. Step 3. Step 4, confirm trading the direction momentum. We have a sell signal right here. You confirm that price is not ranging. So price was ranging, but it broke and closed below right there. So that's where Barack took his entry. And it already went straight to profit target initially. Right there. So blasted right through and went straight to profit target. That's this strategy right here, the high-low scalp strategy. So if you guys have access to my course and my strategies and my indicators, you guys would know that strategy. It's not necessary that you guys know it because for these live sessions, we're only applying these 3 right here. So these are the 3 main strategies that we're applying here on the live session. So if you guys are old members or if you guys have access to the indicators and my strategies, you guys can apply whatever strategy you like. But for these live sessions, I'm only focusing on these 3 right here. And there's no entries for them yet. So price is continuing to drop right here. Hasn't been a real retracement yet. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. I was waiting for the retracement to play out so that we can have the reset of the entries, but it didn't even come up right here on the 1 minute. Everything is still pointing towards a strong sell though, overall. So it's just gonna be a matter of time. All right, 7:13 right now. We still have a lot of time, so it's not necessarily late yet. We're trading till 8, so we have a lot of time from now until 8. Here is a clean chart, guys. As you guys mentioned, or as I mentioned earlier, I draw the circle here. I mentioned 2 things could happen. Price will either retrace back up to opening, or it'll just continue dropping. And you can see right here exactly what happened. Price closed below, and now it's dropping even further. So some more profits over here. Let's see. Gotcha. Yeah. So Dejan over here said that there was a momentum scalp, but it had dropped so far without retracing even a little bit. He entered a buy to try to trail it for 100 pips, but he didn't put his regular and he ended up losing. Yeah, it's all good. It looks like, yeah, you just got caught in that right there, like super last minute, Dejan. It's a little gamble there though, because you were entering it and it was such a strong downtrend, but it's all good. I mean, at least you understood, where you made the mistake. It's okay to make mistakes, guys. So just remember that whenever you guys take a trade, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you understand why you made that mistake. Like Dejan over here knew that he made a mistake. His TP stop loss wasn't close enough. If he took a smaller TP, he would have hit his TP, but he didn't. He was trying to catch the retracement up. This is like one way that I for sure do not recommend trading, because it's counter trend trading, right? When you're counter trend trading, you're going against the trend and you can't beat the trend if it's this strong. Like for example, here, I'd wait for the retracement and I'd catch the continuation down, but trading against the trend, this is like, it's like a death wish, right? Because like literally everything here is pointing towards a sell. 1, 5, and 10, strong sells. 10, 30, and 1 hour, strong sells. But as long as you make the mistake and you guys understand that, okay, probably shouldn't have taken a sell because everything else here was pointing towards a sell. Or I shouldn't have taken the buy because everything was pointing towards a sell. At least in the future, you won't make that same mistake. So sometimes you guys got to make mistakes to learn from them. Unfortunately, that's the case, but that's just how it is with some people sometimes. Zach over here, nice work, Zach. So Zach said, need to make sure I'm not over trading and keep my rules. So he's done for the day. So Zach for the day, he was up 23,944 on the 20th. And then for today, he's up 10,060 with only 6 trades. So as you guys can see here, more trades isn't necessarily good, right? You can take less trades and still do very well. So solid work right there, Zach. And probably the best decision is to call it a day for you, because I can tell that you're starting to overtrade a little bit, because we're only in the session, about 30 minutes and you've already taken 6 trades. So probably best to just take the rest of the day off, come back fresh tomorrow, and then do the same thing again. All right, still no entries here on the lower time frames. Obviously, we're still looking for a sell, but there's nothing for us to take right now specifically. All right, price is pushing up right here on the 1 minute. Again, not one that I would necessarily recommend taking. This is a momentum scalp failure that's currently pending. We currently have a sell bias across all the time frames. We have a buy signal here that's currently pending. The next thing you want to look for is the volume here. You can see price is above the volume. So this is no longer going to be a valid entry for a momentum scalp failure. Third step over here, confirm volume is below average. Unfortunately, this is not going to fit criteria. So there's not going to be an entry here for a momentum scalp failure. I'm hoping no buy signal here closes, because if it does close, it's going to screw up the rest of our entries here, right? So I'm hoping here this does not close with the buy signal, because we can't have this follow up with a momentum scalp variation if there's no entry there. All right, next candle over here, same thing again, pending buy signal. As you guys can see, overall trend is sell. So step one's met. Step one's already met. We have an overall trend here for a sell. Next step, we're confirming a retracement momentum signal. So we need a buy signal here to close. Once that buy signal closes, step three, confirm volume is below average. So looking at volume down here and confirming the sell signal. Two main things. Let's see, Eunice over here, he didn't take anything else yet. So Eunice over here tried to take a sell, but he couldn't. He was driving right now. It's all good. So probably, yeah, get to your destination safe, Eunice, and then take your trade once you have the opportunity. Here's C6 profits. He's now currently at 3,800 for the day. Nice work, C6. So nice recovery and swing back in a profit. We have Vincent over here. Vincent took his first trade, total profit of 83.66. He took this momentum scalp over here. Nice work, Vincent. So we took that earlier momentum scalp, and then he had another one over here as well. Total profit of 155.27 for the day. He took another momentum scalp right there as well. Nice work, Vincent. So solid profit right there. There's technically a momentum scalp variation, guys. The buy signal finally closed right here. So this here was a momentum scalp variation that hit full TP. Oh, sorry, not momentum scalp variation, momentum scalp failure. So this one over here played out. Overall bias was a sell. Not a trade that I would take, but it is a momentum scalp failure. Overall trend was a sell. Retracement of momentum signal right there. Volume was below average. If this here closes, this is technically going to be or actually, sorry guys, it's not a momentum scalp variation, because the same candle right here was a momentum scalp variation. This is like such a messy setup. So let me explain that to you real quick. This candle right here is not a momentum scalp variation. This one prior was a momentum scalp variation. So let me try to explain it to you guys real quick. This will happen sometimes. This actually happened last week. If you guys remember, there was a candle here that came up and we realized that this here was also a momentum scalp variation. So let me go over here and just move this over real quick and I'll explain it to you. So for one, this right here was a momentum scalp failure because we had step one, overall trend was a sell. Second step, confirm retracement momentum signal was right here, buy signal. Step three, you want to confirm volume is below average, right? Volume is below average right there. And then you'd enter on the close of retracement momentum signal. So this right here, and I'll just replay it. This right here was a momentum scalp failure. As you guys can see, all the criteria was met. And then now let me show you the momentum scalp variation. This right here was also a momentum scalp variation on the same exact candle. So confirm overall trend, it was a sell. Confirm momentum aligns on the 5 and 10. So looking over here on the 5 and 10, we have a sell signal here and a sell signal here. So that's the requirement for step two. Step three, you want to confirm retracement momentum signal in the 1 minute. This was a retracement momentum signal. Step four, you want to confirm price close past the pivots and retracement. They don't have to come up in order, but you want to make sure that all these things happen. So price was below the pivots here. It closed above it on this green candle. That's step four. And then step five, confirm close past the pivots in correction. That was this candle right here, because this candle closed right below the pivots. And then you enter on the close of the candle. So unfortunately, this happened too quickly, but again, it wouldn't be an entry that I personally would take, but this would be an entry for both momentum scalp failure and momentum scalp variation together. I know it's kind of a messy entry, but hopefully it makes sense to most of you guys. If it doesn't, it's okay. We'll cover it again during the mentoring session later today. So if you guys forgot, we have the mentoring session today at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Pacific. If there's any detailed questions you guys want to be answered, feel free to join the mentoring session later, but I just want to explain to you guys real quick. how that was a momentum scalp variation. So it looks like Martha here actually took it. Total profit of 1,120 off that trade. Nice work, Martha. Yeah, solid work right there. So it looks like some of you guys here do understand like how it works and how it plays out. This doesn't happen very often. Like this happens maybe like once every couple months. Surprisingly, this happened twice this month though. So I almost never see this happen because we don't typically get a lot of invalid signals. But this one right here did meet the criteria. It actually happened last week and it played out too. So it happened last week, played out, happened this week, played out. It just happened too fast for us to identify. But it wouldn't matter because it's not one that I personally would take. So we have a momentum scalp coming up right here. The one thing that I would personally look for a momentum scalp, I want to make sure that volume is above average. So if this momentum scalp here closes with volume above average, then I'll possibly take it. The reason for that is because I'm anticipating a continuation back to the downside. There's a problem here though. So if you guys look over here, let me show you real quick. You guys can see where the low is currently at right now, right? So this is considered a support now. This is why this is a bit of an issue, because if you take a sell right here, you're going to get caught around this area of support. So that's why I'm looking for volume here to be above average. So if we get a sell signal here, I'm looking for the volume here to be above the blue line, because this is going to give me an indication that price is likely to continue dropping, right? So for example, over here, if you guys see this volume on this side, right? So volume over here was super heavy. This candle right here dropped. See how there's enough space for you to actually catch your 100 pips? Very easy, right? So that's why I'm looking for volume here to be my confluence, looking for this specific entry. There's no sell signal here yet, so it still doesn't meet criteria. But that's basically what I'm looking for. So if we get a sell signal there for momentum scalp, the reason why I'm kind of okay with taking momentum scalp here is because the momentum scalp failure and momentum scalp variation already hit full TP, right? The entries came up right here on this green candle, full TP. So with these met already, this is the next strategy that comes in line. So that's why I'm looking for this one here to come up, but I also want it to be in confluence with volume. So again, waiting game. Just got to wait for this here to set up for entry, but there's just nothing for us to take right now. As you guys can see, here's a clean chart. Price faked out above, came back below, correction below opening price. Retracement, consolidation, retracement, consolidation, retracement, consolidation. So this is going to be key right here, because you can see where price is currently consolidating. So this is a key thing to look out for over here, because now that price is consolidated down here, there's one of two things that can happen. Price will likely either bounce off here and shoot back up and retest for retracement, or it's going to continue dropping lower. But right now, there's just no, I mean, overall, we're still looking for a sell. Everything here looks like a sell, but it's so far below that, you know, we're due for that retracement. Like I personally would want a retracement to happen so that we don't get caught in the retracement at a later time. But I mean, we'll see where this ends up going. There's nothing for us to take right now. Everything's still a sell bias. We're technically just looking for a sell signal. If we get a sell signal here, it'll be a momentum scalp, but I'm looking for volume also to align with it. Or else it's just going to be a risky entry at that point. Let's see. Barack said, good for the day. Thanks for the live link, Sean. God bless. Definitely, Barack. So we'll see you back here tomorrow. Great profits today. Here's Maddie's profit. So Maddie's currently up 1,260 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. Great profit so far. Christian over here as well. Christian is currently up 799 for the day. Nice work, Christian. Took that sell earlier. All right, guys. So solid profit so far. If you guys took any of the trades off my analysis, there's no official trades yet. The main one I'm looking for here is a momentum scalp, but I need the volume here to be above average. So we'll see how that plays out. If it doesn't play out, completely fine. Just got to sit tight and wait for the next one. Yeah, this market kind of died down a little bit. Volume here just like went completely down. I'm still looking for that retracement. So I'm kind of looking for the 5 here to push up a little bit, maybe bounce off the pivots. Same with the 10. I'm looking for this to also bounce up a little bit, bounce off the pivots, because that's like at least like the bare minimum retracement. We have the 1 minute retracing here, but it's not really even retracing. It's just going sideways. So it's not necessarily pushing up at all. It's kind of just squeezing again. And as price squeezes again here, it's just preparing for a breakout. So price is squeezed right here. And it's ready for that breakout to the upside or to the downside. All right, we have a pending sell signal right here. Volume is below average, so it's not going to be one that I plan on taking. The only way I'll take a momentum scalp here is if the volume is above average, because the last thing I want to do is get caught in a sideways movement. Like if price is going to push, I'm okay with it pushing, but I'm not looking to get stuck in a position here where price just goes sideways and then I end up being trapped in that position for way too long. So sell signal there pending again, but volume over here, as I mentioned, below average. Yeah, exactly. Glenn said no need to force any entries now, guys. Yeah, 100%, Glenn. So I'm being very patient with these entries here, especially for it being Trap Tuesday and then also technically Monday for the trading week. So sell signal right there did close, guys. I'm not taking it though. The volume was below average. So looking at down at the volume right here, this thing's below the line, so it's not necessarily I personally wouldn't consider it a safe entry. Yeah, too risky in mine. I'm not in this position, guys. I'm just marking it up for you guys to see. Not an official entry, of course. Volume here is just too slow. So there's not really much movement in the market. It's not a good time to make entry because the last thing you want to do is enter this trade and then just get caught and it moves sideways for like the next, 5-10 minutes or so. Because these scalps are supposed to hit right away. So when you guys take these trades that we take here on the live, they're supposed to hit within the first minute or two. It did hit right there. So if you guys took it, great, but not a trade that I want to be risking right now specifically. Yeah, there's just no other confluence here. I was looking for other confluences because I need price to actually retrace up. There was no confluence here. Price hasn't retraced up heavy enough. Here we go with the 1 minute as price drops down below. The thing that you want to be careful for is going to be the support, because if price has come down to the support, might just come down and bounce directly off it. That's why I wasn't looking to take it just yet. Vince is asking, so you would only take a momentum scalp if the volume is above average? Not exactly. If price is moving directional, then I would take it. But right now, price isn't really moving. That's why I'm using the volume as a confluence for me. So not for every trade, but for this one right here, price is just going sideways. So you don't want to be stuck in a trade if it's just going sideways. You want to be entering it, if it's going back and forth. Because like sometimes volume will be below average. Like for example, over here, volume is like very low, but price is actually going down, right? So if that's the case, then yeah, I would take the sell there, even if volume is below average. But right now, it's just going sideways. So it's not a good area to be trading in. Like you don't want to be in a trade and then, you step away for like a few seconds and then price is like way up here because the breakout happens. Because when you get volume low like this, it's just preparing for a breakout. Like I'm expecting a breakout to happen within the next, probably the next 10 to 20 minutes from now. So like it's already been ranging for about how many candles? Price dropped down to this point right here, and it's been going sideways for about 20 minutes now. So at probably the next 10 to 20 minutes, this thing's going to have to break out one way or the other. It's just all about patience and discipline, being able to sit out of the market and sit on your hands until it comes time. The problem with these breakouts is that you can't predict where it's going to go. Like this can really go either way. Looking at sentiment right now, I don't even think sentiment's changed at all. So it's changed a little bit. It kind of went offset. So earlier it was like 50, it was like 49, 52. Now it's 51, 49, which is fine because we're still looking for sells here. So we actually want people to load up on this buy side. But again, still nothing over here. Retracement never actually played out. So guys, basically what I was looking for here, and I'll just kind of draw a little, you can't really see as much on the 1, but right here on the 5, I was looking for price to, because it came down super heavy. I was looking for it to retrace up at least a little bit and then come back down so that we can have that retracement out of the way. You just want to knock out that retracement because you want to have any doubt out of your mind. So right here, I'm still looking for that retracement to play out. It never played out. So that's why I'm kind of just waiting for this to come and test, because the last thing you want to do is enter a trade. And then in the back of your head, you're still worried because you're like, oh, that retracement never played out. So is this the retracement or is it, you know, if it's actually going to reverse? So like, yeah, that's what Maddie's looking for too. He said he's watching for the 5-minute pivot to retest. It's going to have to retest at some point, guys. Like that's the key thing that you guys have to understand with trading is that price can't continue in one direction forever. Like if you look over here on the 5, I'll just maximize this real quick. You guys can see price will drop a little bit, but then it comes back up, right? Drops a little bit, retracement, drops a little bit, retracement, drops a little bit, retracement. See how prices dropped right here? There's no retracement yet, right? So that's why you want to give yourself the benefit of the doubt that, okay, I got to wait for this actually to retrace up a little bit, bounce off any point here, and then, you know, obviously make its way back down. If you can confirm that, then great, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. Price hasn't even pushed up. So not exactly the setup that I'm happy with yet. 7:33 right now, so we still have about like 30 minutes. Market's kind of slow. This is what I was worried about. I was worried about price being slow and not really being much direction. So like if I enter a trade, guys, I want to know right away if I win or lose. I don't care if it's a win or lose. I want to know right away within, you know, the first couple of minutes. Because if you're holding on to a trade for so long, like for example, right here, I'd be so pissed if I was holding on to a sell and I just start to see candle start to shoot up like this because you're not in massive drawdown, right? So for example, if you were taking this for 25.50 move, which wouldn't be recommended because the volume is so low, like I'd be super upset if I was like in this trade and I was holding on to it for like 5-10 minutes and then it starts to retrace up super heavy and you're like, what the heck's happening here, right? And I'm sure that's happened to you guys a lot before. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel better if it goes up and hits your stop loss right away, rather than go sideways for like 10-20 minutes. And then all of a sudden price starts going opposite and you're like, what the heck's happening? That's probably like a worse feeling than losing the trade right away. You know, people will say it's trade psychology, but realistically, it's like your trade didn't play out because usually your trade would play out within the first few minutes. I mean, if you took a smaller TP stop loss, 100 pips, of course your TP would hit, but maybe not, right? Because what if your spread's too wide or you entered late? So here's the retracement that we were looking for. It's finally playing out. It's completely fine. This right here would be a momentum scalp failure, guys, not one that I would personally take because I think price is on its way to retracement. Target price point is going to be news price right here. So if price continues pushing up, I think that's a target price point there. When price reaches that point, it'll either bounce off or really keep pushing up higher. So 2 different scenarios right there that could play out. Yeah, Dejan said being stuck in a cell then seeing a buy momentum, I'd cry. I know 100%, Dejan. I've been there, done that. So that's why I don't. The thing is, like, I've like ran into a lot of bad trades in the past, guys. That's why I'm a lot more disciplined, because I would hate to feel that way again, making the same mistake twice. So for me personally, I've made a lot of mistakes trading. So that's why I'm a lot more disciplined compared to a lot of other people, because a lot of you guys haven't made those mistakes yet. But all right, we got the wick rejection right here on the 5. It's off the pivot. So we'll see if this candle here closes. This candle has about 4 minutes left on it. So this would take some time for me to really confirm it, but it is rejecting off the pivot there. So I'm not necessarily looking for any trades here just yet. I'm looking for that 5 minutes to close, because what might happen here is price will push up, reject off the news price, and then come back down from there. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here, guys. This is the setup that I'm looking for. Price push up, retrace. That's a setup right there. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. There's still no buy signal here yet. So, or there's now, looks like this candle has about 19 seconds left on it. If it closes and volume is below average, then this will technically be a momentum scalp failure. If it doesn't close, then next attempt, volume is already above average here. So there's not going to be an entry there for a momentum scalp failure. Yeah, so no momentum scalp failure here, guys. Unfortunately, the three strategies here are not going to align again because the first one already screwed it up. The momentum scalp failure here didn't play out properly. So there's not going to be a setup that we were necessarily looking for here, because I was looking for the momentum scalp failure to play out and then the variation to come up after it. We just don't have that yet. All right, so price might push up a little higher here on the 5, actually. It might push up to this yellow pivot. So Maddie said he's looking at the 10-minute for that rejection. So price might push up a little higher here. And then Maddie's also looking for this here to push up too for retracement. Back on the 1 minute over here. Still nothing for us to take at the moment. Here's the 5. The 5 still has 2 minutes left on it, so it still has a lot of time. There we go, as price rejected off the news price, kind of what we anticipated. Let's see, Atapam said, so you'd enter on that second mountain top on your drawing. No, so I'm not looking to enter just yet. I was looking for an actual entry to come up. So what I was looking for this to play out where it came up retested, but the buy signal already came up right here. So I was waiting for this to come up a little bit, come back down and provide the buy signal down in this area so that we can get a momentum scalp failure. But this right here, it already messed it up because this was the buy signal and the volume over here was above average. So it didn't meet criteria, right, for this here to play out. So yeah, unfortunately, no entry there. This is just the direction that I was looking for. Not exactly for entry, but the direction I was looking for. If this here does play out and it continues back down, then there might be an entry for a speculative move. So that's one thing to keep an eye out for. Because if this is the case, then I'm expecting price to come back down below, right? That's the main thing I'm looking for. So I still think this is going to play out this pattern, but there's no specific entry because the criteria wasn't met over here for the momentum scalp failure because the volume here was above average. So this candle here is going to close in about 30 seconds. I'm expecting it to drop a little bit at the very least. So if you want to take a speculative sell at some point, you can, not yet, but you can at some point. So I'm looking for this to because I still think this is going to come down. So there's no official entry, but there could be a speculative sell here if you wanted to. I'm just looking for this to play out. So if it comes down a little further down here, then possibly because you can catch 100 pips down in that direction, but there's no official entry. So just keep that in mind, guys. The reason why I show you guys speculative entries is because I'm showing you that if you understand how the market moves and the flow of the market, you can take trades. It's just you have to actually understand the flow of the market, right? A lot of people don't understand the flow of the market, so it's difficult for them to really predict and anticipate where price is likely to go. So if this here closes around this area, then I'm expecting it to drop a little lower, at least 100 pips for for whatever to play out. But at the moment right now, specifically, there's nothing for us to take right now. So you probably want to wait for price to drop down to this area. And if price does close below, it's technically going to be a momentum scalp variation, just not aligned with, all the other criteria here. Because the criteria over here is that we would need the failure to play out first and then momentum scalp variation. But yeah, if the candle here closes below the pivots, it's technically going to be a momentum scalp variation. It just doesn't align. So as you can see, price didn't come down here. So the retracement is still playing out. We go back on the higher time frames over here. Price is still pushing up. So Let me clean this up a little bit. I'm going to look over here on these higher time frames. So the 5 over here, this is irrelevant at this point. The next thing that I'd want to look for is the wick rejection here on the 10, because these wick rejections will give you a hint as to price, correcting back down. So overall bias, I'm still expecting price to come back down, but these other higher time frames here will give you a hint. Like if you see a wick rejection here on the 10 and you see a wick rejection here on the 5, odds of you getting wick rejection here on the 1 is very likely. And if that's the case, price is probably going to come back down. But right now, for the specific time and moment, there's no entry for us to take right now. Variation never came up. The failure already played out. And price is still retracing up right here. So just got to sit tight. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Unless if you guys want to wait for the mentoring session later today, we can answer those questions later too. But yeah, we need to let the market get into full swing first. Looks like price is correcting back up, which is anticipated. Like this correction was overdue. Let's go over here to the 1 minute. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Or I'll show you on the clean chart. So it's easier to see over here on the clean chart. Okay, so look where I drew this box, right? I drew this box right here and I mentioned price is going to go up or it's going to go down. What happened? Price went up, right? This is how you guys can knock out scenarios here. Target price point for this here is going to be opening price. So I pretty much, we identified this and we anticipated this to play out, whether it be to the top or to the bottom. This retracement was overdue, is well overdue. So as you guys can see right here, price was dropping. And this right here was the start of the retracement. So this retracement was well overdue. This needed to drop, it needed to swing back up at some point. Now we're looking for this to correct back down. It can correct back down anywhere at this point. It can correct back down from this point up here. There's no specific place where it can correct down from, right? So I'm looking for these wick rejections over here to confirm the correction. So yeah, Maddie said it's luring in some buyers. I agree. I don't think this is going to hold, but I think this will be temporary. Let's see, Sisu said he's calling it. His other trade came in, couldn't hold, taking profit on a day like today. Yeah, same here, Sisu. I do the same thing. Question from Justin. Justin's asking, is FTMO verification 5% in minimum 5 days or 10 days? I think it's still 10 days, Justin. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 days. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. All right, so here's the FTMO website. Yeah, it's still 10 days, Justin. So if you're getting close to your target, I would probably start to I think price is going to come down now, guys. If this candle here closes below this pivot right here, then I'm expecting it to continue down lower. But yeah, Justin, it's still 10 days for the verification. So if you guys are looking for a speculative sell, this is your hint, but you need this candle here to close below the pivot. You can't have a wick rejection off the top and bottom. If you have that right there, then there's uncertainty. I wouldn't take a trade. You have 8 seconds left on this candle here. There's still a wick on top and a wick on bottom. I wouldn't take it. Yeah, not one I would take. So we're still looking for a couple things here, guys. Looking over here on the 10, you can see prices rejecting off the pivot right there. This is kind of what we were waiting for. You need this to actually close though. So this candle has about 4 minutes left on it. It hasn't closed yet. You need to wait for this to actually close. Once it closes, great. If not, gotta wait on it. 5 minute over here. This here had a wick rejection on the top and the bottom. So definitely not a good entry to take right there. Not really an entry, but the confluence here. I'm looking for these confluences. The 1 minute over here, there's still nothing for you to take at the moment. I mean, if price comes back below, this could technically be a momentum scalp variation. So a couple of things here to look out for. Yeah, no, you're fine, Justin. No problem. I know it's kind of confusing because they do change the rules every once in a while, but yeah, still 10-day minimum on the verification. Jean mentioned possible double body on the 5 might also be a sign. Yeah, exactly. If you get a double body there, it could be another sign for continuation to the downside. So there's still no entries here. I mean, the main thing you can look out for here, guys, is if there's a red candle that closes below all the pivots, it's technically going to be a momentum scalp variation. It could possibly be momentum scalp as well if there's a sell signal here that closes. So kind of what you're looking for here on the 5 and 10 is you're looking for the 5 to close below the pivots. That would actually be another confirmation of a momentum scalp variation. There's a couple different confluences here. If this here closes with a red candle, this is going to be a double body. So that'll be a variation V1. And then looking at this over here, if this here closes below the pivots and it has a sell signal, this is going to be an entry for a momentum scalp variation and well, unfortunately it already closed. It closed right there, not below the pivots, but it did close right there. So like these entries did not come in order. So there was a momentum scalp failure right here, momentum scalp, and it totally skipped over the momentum scalp variation. They're supposed to come in order, but they didn't. So I'd probably just sit out of it, guys. Typically they come in order. Like I actually haven't seen them come out of order like this in a long time. I don't even think I ever identified it on a live session. But these typically always come in order. As you guys can see, these came in different orders today. This was a momentum scalp failure. It hit TP. And typically you have a momentum scalp variation right after, but this right here was a momentum scalp. And then this right here would be momentum scalp variation. Not one I would necessarily take because I think I don't know, this just gives me some weird vibes that it's not aligned how it should be. But I do think price is going to continue down. It's supposed to go down. So we'll, yeah, Patricia said time to stay away. Weird stuff going on today. Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Patricia. Yeah, so Patricia even sees it herself as well. A lot of weird stuff today. I've never, like, personally, I've never seen this happen where these have skipped over each other. If you guys have been on me with the live sessions for the past couple of months, we've been applying this since the new year. This has actually never happened since the new year. Well, on my watch, at least. Maybe it's happened in Asia session, but never during New York. So I would, I probably just sit out. If there's any entries here, I'll mark them up, but I'm probably not going to take anything here because the market is moving a little funky right now. Maybe a little speculative move here if you guys want, if this here closes, because you got the wick rejection on both sides. Price, odds of it pushing down heavier to at least retest the low over here is very likely. So if you want to take a speculative move at some point, guys, I mean, you guys can technically can, but obviously I just be careful. If this closes below the pivots, this is like a momentum scalp variation on the 5-minute time frame. I mean, not really, but the type of setup that I'm explaining, it kind of meets criteria. So we'll see where this ends up going, but yeah, it does have a ways to go. If it ends up dropping lower from this point, I mean, price might come up and retest the pivots up here though. So obviously something to look out for. Yeah, you can see right here, price is pushing up. Price might come up and retest the pivot. So that might be something that you want to look for if you're looking for something speculative. There you go, as price pushes up. So I do think price will come down. I mean, it's just a matter of time until it actually does though, right? Because I think this might come up a little bit, retest the pivots, and then make its way down eventually at some point. But yeah, if you guys want a speculative sell, I do think price has to come down because the low over here still hasn't been tested. So target price point right here is to come back and retest the support, right? I think price will come down. I don't know how, like, when it'll come down, but eventually I do expect it to come down and test the support at some point down here. Test the support, looking over here on the 5, wick rejection. So everything kind of lines up here pretty nicely for a speculative sell if you want to take it. Again, these speculative sells, these are all speculation. There's no strategy to it. It's kind of just understanding where price is going and then, riding that wave basically. But I do think, price would I'd probably wait for the pivots to get closer because once you get that wick rejection off the pivots, it's going to be the hint that, okay, price is likely to come down to that from that point. Yeah, Sisuk said, definitely see that drop. Yeah, I see it happening eventually. It's just a matter of time until it comes down. But again, we don't know when it's going to actually play out. So let's see what we got over here. So we got, see Desville over here. He took some sells on the way, some buys on the way. Total profit of 6,267 for the day. Nice work, Desville. So he's done for the day. Some more profits down here from Dijon. Dijon took the sell earlier with a double body on the 5. Total profit of 390 for the day. Nice recovery, Dijon. So you made a couple mistakes there, but you bounced right back. So solid profits right there. Here's Sammy. Sammy with a total profit of 3,430 for the day. Nice work, Sammy. She took sells she took sells in the direction of the bias. We had a sell bias pretty much all day today, full TPs. Great work right there, 3,400. Desville over here, some more profits, 6,000. We got Patrick Stevens over here, total profit of 3,429. Took trades in the other direction as price retraced. Nice work, Patrick. Well, actually, he took these during London. So we took it during that London push earlier. We have Cameron over here, total profit of 5,200 for the day. Nice work, Cameron. All straight wins. All wins, no losses. Solid work. We have Alan over here, total profit of 384.20 for the day. Nice work, Alan. Solid profits right there. We got Eunice over here. Eunice said, I feel very forced to take entries, but keep being patient. Yeah, just be patient, Eunice. No need. Today's not the day to be taking like some risky trades. Sammy over here, unfortunately, ate a loss. So a little bit of a loss there, not a super big loss, but loss nonetheless. It's all good. So Sammy over here took a loss. It's all good. You're going to bounce back from. You just need one more trade. So you're down negative 940. You just need one trade. If you have one full TP, you'll be up at like about 2,000. So nice work with the transparency there, guys. Like, you guys have to understand that losses are going to happen. So the thing with Sammy over here, not everyone has the strength to post a loss, but it's fine because now you can see that Sammy just needs one win and Sammy will be back in profit. I took a speculative sell here, guys. That's why I was kind of looking back on my MC4 to see if it hit. Finally hit my TP. Some slippage. Only gave me 750, unfortunately. It is what it is. I took it and I let it hit, but I think his price keeps bouncing up and down. It kind of got me caught in some slippage there. So I'll post my profits as well. And some last profits over here from C-Stoop, 8,653 for the day. Nice recovery and back in a profit on C-Stoop's account. We have Patricia over here, total profit of 4,055 for the day. All wins for the day. Nice work, Patricia. Yeah, solid wins over here. And I see you lowered your lot size. So great work on adjusting with today's risk. You have Stern over here, total profit of 564 for the day and 70 cents. All wins, no losses. Nice work, Stern. So unfortunately, guys, no official entries today. We had like a very weird market. Like, these trades did not come in order. I did mention that there was a opportunity for a speculative sell there. I took it for a quick 100 pips. Came down, went straight to my TP, but it bounced up. So it gave me some slippage. I only locked in about 750 off that trade. I'm going to check to see if I got the green strip, but I'm probably did it. Maddie over here, total profit of 1,610 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. And then we have Vincent over here. He took the momentum scalp right there. Nice work, Vincent. So you guys can see, if you guys have the indicators, you guys can take whatever trades you guys want. It's really up to you, whatever you guys want to take. Vincent here has been killing it every day, right? Profit right there. Momentum scalp, total profit of 203.13 cents. Nice work, Vincent. His other account over here, or the other trade, he marked it up. Same thing, momentum scalp, momentum scalp, momentum scalp right there. Another momentum scalp right there. He pretty much is knocking out all the momentum scalps that have been coming up today. Christian over here, he said he took the variation, closed out manually, locked in $52 for the day. Nice work, Christian. It's not bad. Some profits better than no profit, of course, 100%. And you can see here, price is pushing down. This is the target price point, the support. But it is getting close to 8, so not necessarily a good time to enter anything at the moment. Let me screenshot my accounts for the day so far. Not bad for first day from the holiday week. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this over here real quick. All right, so not too bad. Perfect. Yeah, Martha's last move was a speculation per C6 call. So she took a trade right here, Martha. Total profit of well over 2,000 for the day. Nice work, Martha. Let me see if I can copy this over to here. Yeah, you did good work right there, Martha. Solid work. Yeah, if you want to post it in any of the chats, Martha, like later on, you don't have to do it right now. You can send it to me or post it in the chat so I can add it to the post for later today. I can't drag it. I was trying to drag it, but it didn't let me on Zoom. So let me just screenshot my profits. I mean, you guys can see right here, my FTMO locked in 3,570, MFF number 1, 2,900, MFF number 2, 2,990, and MFF number 3, 2,950. As you guys can see, volume here is super dead, so it's not necessarily a good time to enter any trades. You're probably going to be stuck in that trade for a while if you do enter anything at the moment. So highly recommend just holding off on entering any positions right now. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my individual profits, and then we will wrap it up for the day. Just a reminder, guys, we have our mentoring session later today at 5 p.m. for the afternoon people. If you guys want to sit in on that, it's completely free. It's available to everybody. But obviously, priority goes to our premium members and also our mentorship members as well. But let me just screenshot all my profits so far. Not bad for first day this week. I was expecting to not take any trades today, but can't shy away from these profits, of course. All right, so profits are not too bad. MFF kind of did undercut me a little bit, but it's okay because I understood that there was slippage today. So I can't really say it was like 100% their fault. It's just the market. Market was just not moving smoothly at all. And it happens. So that's the thing that you guys need to understand as well, is that you are going to get slippage. Like there's no avoiding it. It's going to happen sometimes. Perfect. Yeah, Maddie said he's done for the day. Here are my profits. And post them up real quick. All right. So here are all of my accounts so far. So here's my main account with the green strips. You guys can see this is my FTMO 400K funded account, locked in 3,570 on this one, all wins. This is the last speculative sell that I took just right now. It undercut me a little bit, but it's okay. Slippage happens. Here's my MFF number 1, 2,900. Here's my MFF number 2, 2,990. Different profits, of course, slippage happened. And then my third MFF, 2,950. So all of my MFFs over here have a little bit of some different profit, some slippage across the board, but it's all good. It happens. Martha over here, she's currently up 2,000 for the day. So solid work right there, Martha. Add those profits to the group and add mines over here as well. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like we'll be wrapping this up soon, guys. It's 8 o'clock right now, so it's about time for us to cut off of this live session. If there's any questions that you guys have, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be back here later at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So it's 8 o'clock right now, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in about 9 hours. I'll be back here live for the afternoon group for the mentoring session. So if you guys want to attend the mentoring session, come with whatever questions you guys have. I'll show you whatever examples you guys need to see. We'll probably cover a lot of the trades here too, because this was a very unusual trading day due to the order of entries that came up, and then also like some of these entries here that don't typically come up where they align. Like these typically don't come up together, but they did come up right here for today. So I think today's a good day to review the trading day and understand, how these trades come up, and then how sometimes you'll find like these unusual price movements. But the thing is, if you guys can stay disciplined and calm and cool and under control during these types of conditions, you guys will be perfectly fine. Like we had no losses today. We didn't have any official trades, but we also didn't have any losses. So that's also a good thing, right? You have to focus on not losing any trades. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com. Otherwise, you guys can message me on Telegram as well. A question from Glenn. Glenn's asking, how many years did it take for you to become consistently profitable? I've been trading for about like 10 years on and off. I was profitable in the beginning, kind of fell off for a bit, came back, did Forex for a bit, was consistent. And then I've been very consistent for the past 3 to 5 years now. Ever since I started doing live sessions with you guys, I've been super consistent because I can't screw up here on the live session, right? If I screw up on the live session, all you guys are going to see. So I think the pressure from you guys, everybody watching me, has made me a better trader because I'm not taking dumb trades anymore. Like I can't be taking random trades and then just praying it'll hit TP. Like I have to actually analyze and know what I'm doing. So I've been probably consistently profitable for the past 3 years for sure, up to 5 years probably total. So that's when I left my job as an attorney. Now I trade full time. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. I'll see you guys later today if you guys are on the mentoring session. If not, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.